Imagine buying a sports car so dangerous that the salesman literally tells you it might kill you. That's exactly what happened with the Porsche 930 Turbo, a car so notorious that owners called it the Widowmaker, and Porsche banned it from America for 5 years because they were terrified of lawsuits. This isn't just another classic car story. This is about a machine that could transform from a gentle cruiser into a death trap in the blink of an eye. A car that didn't just change Porsche forever, it rewrote the rules of what a sports car could be. I'm talking about the car that made turbo lag famous, created automotive widows, and somehow became the most iconic 911 ever built. This is the story of how Porsche accidentally created a legend that tried to kill everyone who drove it. The birth of a legend. Here's something most people don't know. The 930 Turbo was never meant to be a production car. It started as pure desperation. In 1973, Porsche needed to build 400 streetcars to qualify their race car for competition. What they created instead was automotive cocaine, pure, addictive, and potentially deadly. The first test drivers at Porsche literally refused to push the prototypes at the Nürburgring. One engineer famously described it as a rocket with the stability of a shopping cart. They weren't being dramatic, they were being honest. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite knowing how dangerous it was, Porsche fell in love with their own monster. That first drive must have been intoxicating. 260 horsepower in 1975 was Ferrari territory, but this came in a package that looked like your neighbor's 911. The Widowmaker. Experience. So, what was it actually like to drive the Widowmaker? Imagine this. You're cruising along at 50 miles per hour, completely relaxed. The car feels docile, almost boring. Then you floor it. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Still nothing. Just the sound of that turbo spooling up like a jet engine. Then suddenly, at 4,000 RPM, all hell breaks loose. 260 horsepower hits like a sledgehammer, the rear end steps out, and you're suddenly facing backward, wondering what just happened. One owner told me it was like dating someone bipolar, most of the time perfectly charming, but you never knew when they'd try to kill you. The car demanded respect, skill, and honestly, a bit of courage every single time you drove it. Here's a secret. Many 930 owners developed a ritual. Before every drive, they'd adjust their mirrors, check their seatbelt twice, and take a deep breath. They knew they weren't just going for a drive, they were entering a relationship with something wild and unpredictable. The steering wheel would fight you, the clutch required leg muscles you didn't know you had, and that boost gauge became your best friend and worst enemy. When it hit full boost, your world changed instantly. The forbidden fruit. From 1980 to 1985, Americans couldn't buy a 930 Turbo. Porsche pulled it entirely. Officially, it was emissions. Unofficially, their lawyers were terrified of wrongful death lawsuits. But banning the 930 did something unexpected. It created a cult. Wealthy Americans paid double the price to import European models. Gray market dealers became millionaires, smuggling Widowmakers across borders. I spoke to a former dealer who said, doctors would call begging us to find them a 930. Wall Street guys offered cash, no questions asked. The more dangerous we told them it was, the more they wanted it. When it returned to America in 1986, Porsche dealers had waiting lists hundreds of names long. The price had doubled, but nobody cared. The forbidden fruit was back. Here's what's fascinating. The ban didn't hurt the 930's reputation. It created a legend. People wanted the car Porsche said was too dangerous for them to handle. The iconic design and legacy. Look at a 930 today and you're seeing automotive history. That whale tail spoiler wasn't just for show. It generated 170 pounds of downforce to keep the rear wheels planted. Without it, the car became a missile. Those flared hips, that wide stance, the 930 gave the 911 muscles. Before it, sports cars looked fragile. After it, everyone tried to look powerful. That silhouette is so iconic, you can recognize it from a mile away. But the real magic was the sound. That turbo whistle, the wastegate whoosh, the flat six growl. It became the soundtrack of 1980s excess. Owners describe it as addictive. You don't drive it for transportation, one told me. You drive it for the high. Today, a clean 930 costs more than most houses. Some have crossed $1 million. The car that was once too dangerous has become priceless. The 930 proved something important. Perfection is boring. Its flaws, the turbo lag, the snap oversteer, the unpredictability, became its greatest strengths. It had character, soul, and yes, it would try to kill you. In our world of electronic nannies and computer-controlled everything, the 930 represents something pure. It was honest about what it was. Dangerous, difficult, and absolutely unforgettable. The Widowmaker earned its name, created legends, and somehow became the most beloved 911 ever built. Because sometimes the things that try to kill you are the ones you never forget. Thanks for watching Motorified. If you want more stories about cars with character, even the deadly ones, hit that subscribe button.